Welcome to the Science of Youth Part 2. In this video, we're going to take a look at how Nu Skin and Pharmanex is taking a bold and innovative approach to the ultimate source of aging. You remember the three types of aging: chronological, environmental, and biological. In Part 1, we showed you how effectively we are able to slow down environmental aging. Now, we'll look at the advances our scientists have made in dealing with biological aging. Biological aging is largely the effects our genes have on the aging process. Our genes are like tiny little computers that control all aspects of who we are: our looks, our size, how our body works, our health, our behaviors, and for our purposes, our longevity. And the ultimate source of the aging process lies in how our genes are expressed. See, as we age, our genes do not change. What changes is their expression. As we get older, some genes responsible for the aging process are turned on, and others that function to keep us younger are switched off. These expression levels are influenced by our environment, and stress, nutrition, and other factors. And our genes do not work alone, but in groups called clusters. Each cluster exerts a particular function in a tissue, and every tissue has a different cluster of genes responsible for the aging of that tissue. We call these youth gene clusters, and they act as the master regulators of aging. What you see here is not an illustration, but an actual image from a measurement tool scientists use to look at gene expression, called a heat map. The blue indicates a downregulated gene, or turned off, and the red indicates a gene that's upregulated, or turned on. In our youth, our genes are expressed in a certain way. However, as we age, these expression levels change. Genes that were once upregulated are now in a down state, and vice versa. See, at Nu Skin, what we're doing is simply using natural ingredients to restore our genetic expression back to a more youthful level. Our proprietary age-lock science is all about balance. Our scientific aim is to oppose age-related changes in gene expression. For example, downregulate genes that accelerate aging and upregulate genes that promote youth. Our approach is to first identify youth gene clusters and understand their youthful expression patterns. Next, we investigate the effect different natural ingredients have on these youth gene clusters. And finally, develop formulas that will reset the youth gene clusters back to their youthful state, thus restoring the youthful biochemistry of the cell. The age-lock science is based on over 30 years of research done on mammals in a caloric-restricted diet. So many different species were tested, and don't worry, these animals were allowed to live out their entire lives, and they died of natural causes. And in all of these species, a smaller diet resulted in the animals living longer. And not only longer, but they were healthier as well. So if you'd like to duplicate the age-lock science, all you need to do is eat less. So let's take a look at a couple of participants in these studies. Owen is a rhesus monkey and a senior citizen, aged 26. In captivity, these monkeys live on average about 27 years. Owen is part of the control group, and he receives a normal, healthy monkey diet. And like you'd expect of a senior citizen, he has arthritis, his skin is wrinkled, his hair is falling out. You see, Owen is frail, and he moves very slowly, and his blood work shows high levels of triglycerides and an unhealthy glucose levels as well. Kanto received the same healthy diet, only he got about half the calories that Owen did. Kanto has a nice coat, he has more youthful, elastic skin, he moves with ease and has an energetic demeanor, and his blood work shows that he's as healthy as he looks. Leading the way on how a caloric-restricted diet affects health and longevity are Dr. Richard Weindruck and Dr. Thomas Prohle, formerly of the University of Wisconsin. In their research, they determined that a caloric-restricted diet would change the expression of certain genes, and they used a gene chip microarray device that could measure the expression of functional gene clusters. This knowledge allowed them to create an anti-aging databank. This is a library of genes and their corresponding clusters that relate to aging. Drs. Weindruck and Prohle have since left academia and have formed their own company, LifeGen Technologies. In 2009, Nu Skin entered into an exclusive partnership with LifeGen and Stanford University. This partnership allows us, and only us, to have access to LifeGen's proprietary anti-aging databank, a library that took years to develop. Stanford gives Nu Skin access to the leading academic researchers in the fields of genetics and anti-aging. In addition to the databank or library of genes responsible for the aging process, our scientists have developed a unique algorithm to further explore the human genome and look for genes responsible for aging and their corresponding youth gene clusters. With this knowledge, we can not only accurately and efficiently identify youth gene clusters, but we can measure their expression levels in a single experiment. So without this algorithm, scientists are only able to do their experiments on a single gene. Now you can imagine the challenge it would be to have to look at each one of the 25 to 30,000 genes in the human genome, and then only be able to run an experiment on a single gene and not the functional cluster. Think of our biological algorithm to be like a search engine on the internet. Without a search engine, you have to look at the web page by page to find what you're looking for. And the reason Google dominates is because they have a better algorithm. Well, we have the only algorithm that can identify youth gene clusters. So you can see why we have a scientific advantage and how we will dominate the anti-aging market. And once we've identified certain youth gene clusters responsible for an aging aspect, and believe me, that's the hard part, we can develop products. One of the first was ageLOC Transformations Package, a daily use skincare product that will significantly reduce the appearance of aging. And you remember our heat map measuring device. In Figure 1, you can see the gene expression profile before ageLOC Transformations on the left, and how our product reset that expression back to a more youthful level. Again, upregulating genes responsible for a youthful, more elastic skin, and downregulating the genes responsible for an aging skin. And again, I want to emphasize that the ingredients we use are safe and natural. And the results speak for themselves. Now, one interesting thing about ageLOC Transformations is that many people see continued improvements even after 90 days. You see, with most anti-aging products, people will see improvements up to 6 to 8 weeks, and then those improvements end. With our unique approach, the improvements seem to continue. Now, looking younger is something most of us all desire, but feeling and living younger is something that we all need. The first of what we expect to be many anti-aging nutritional products is ageLOC Vitality. Aptly named, Vitality restores youthful vitality by increasing physical, mental, and even sexual energy. Now, we do this by resetting the genes responsible for energy production in the body. Each of our cells contain little power plants called mitochondria. Now, mitochondria have many functions, but primarily they serve to combine food and oxygen into energy. Now, this process of energy production has its downside, as damaging free radicals are created during the energy process. And we know that free radicals have a disruptive effect on our cells and will damage every aspect of the cell, including DNA and even the mitochondria itself. Now, each of your cells, to function properly, needs the energy from the mitochondria. As we get older, both the number and the efficiency of the mitochondria decline. Now think of your car for a moment. When it was new, it had a powerful engine and produced very little pollution. However, as it got older, some of that power was lost, and it created more exhaust. And the same is true with your body's power plants. Over time, they lose efficiency and create more of their pollution, more free radicals. In short, healthy mitochondria equate to a healthier cell, and a healthier cell will lead to a healthier you. ageLOC Science is about returning the body's power plants back to a state we had when we were younger. ageLOC Vitality targets mitochondria function in 3 very important tissues of our body: the muscles, the heart, and the brain. And out of the over 300 genes responsible for mitochondria function in the body, we centered in on just 52 genes in our youth gene cluster. ageLOC Vitality contains 3 natural, well-tested ingredients: extracts from Panax ginseng, the Cordyceps sinensis mushroom, and pomegranate fruit. And you might think that our competitors can duplicate our results with a blend of these ingredients, and actually they can't. You see, we have a patented process that extracts certain chemicals from these plants. And see, there's a special blend of these chemicals in Vitality. And currently, we own 14 patents and patents that are pending on the ageLOC Science, and we expect many more to come as we further develop this ageLOC platform. We have presented our science at conferences and symposiums around the world. Plus, our research is published and available for peer review by other scientists. So in part 1 of this video, we've shown you how Nu Skin and Pharmanex have addressed environmental aging. First, with our unique non-invasive measuring tool, the Biophotonic Scanner, a quick and inexpensive way for everyone to know their antioxidant levels. And armed with this knowledge, we're able to develop the most comprehensive and effective multivitamin mineral supplement available anywhere. Then, how the Galvanic Spa uses gentle microcurrents to drive antioxidants and other beneficial ingredients deep into the skin, resulting in a healthy skin and a younger-looking you. Next, we showed you how we're the only company to address biological aging. First, with our ageLOC Transformation Skincare Package, a revolutionary approach to younger, healthier skin. And finally, what I believe will be the most popular product we've ever developed, ageLOC Vitality, a nutrition product where people will actually feel the difference. If you'd like to know how to order, or if you'd like more information on the science, talk to the person who showed you this video, or contact me at michael@ayounger-you-today.com. And thank you for watching.